course it was.
So I was like, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, but it's like I was saying, oh, hello, all of a sudden. Something just came on, and we were sitting here and talking, and we were talking about the ways to mine gold. And if you missed it, I'm so sorry, but we'll get back to that at another time. So,
prospector,
yes.
You're a regular 49er.
Yes, I'm a regular 49er.
Or whatever the Washington
Commanders. Yeah, well, I'm a regular commander. So, welcome everybody to the Vinny Mac show.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh,
can you believe it?
I watch TV so often, I forget whether it's my show or someone else's show. I've been. Everyone says I'm the ultimate guest.
Yeah.
Why do they even have a show? And then, my name is Kaye Lazar, and just last week I was on a show, the Dada Boo Boo.
Yep.
And then I've appeared on your show.
Yep.
I've appeared on Mary Elizabeth's show.
Yep.
I've been on all these shows. You can all catch them on the internet.
That's right.
Yes, and this will be on the internet.
And this will be on the internet eventually.
Yeah.
But this man here, Kaye Lazar, we are live. He is the Regis Philbin of Richmond. So he is on every show, including yours.
I'm the Regis. I'm glad I'm here and not where Regis is now.
Oh yes. Oh, so true, true. Well, once again, thank you for joining us on another edition of the Vinny Mac Show. I am your host, Vinny Mac. Once again, this is Kaye Lazar, and we thank you for stopping on by. So today, mainly, we just talk about things that we like, which will be sports. But if you don't like sports, just wait about a few minutes and we'll go change it to something else.
Well, you want to know something? I try to, when I talk with you, we always have a nice sports conversation.
Yep.
But it's a nice sports conversation.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I could list, the sports radio shows that you see in on the Monday afternoons after the ball games.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest bore to me. They explain, these are just fans talking, and the fans, they're basically like on the Saturday Night Live skit where about the Bears, where they says, "Well, I think the Bears are going to win 800-0." They think their team is going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And I don't. And some either that or they take a cold eye to it.
Yeah.
So I don't think my team's going to win the Super Bowl. I think they should fire their coach. I think they should fire their players.
Yes.
I think they should fire the people in the stands. The guy who sells popcorn.
You know what? Normally we would have a third person here, and he is an annoying Cowboy fan. But nonetheless, that's right. We would call this the NFC East show. We have Commander fan, a Giants fan. We do have an Eagles fan in our group, and a Cowboy fan.
And I'm a Giant fan.
Yeah, he's a Giant fan.
but the annoying Cowboy fan, even if he wasn't a Cowboy fan, he'd still be annoying. That's the only difference.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
He's a wonderful guy.
When he wants to be. But yes, we sometimes talk about what's going on out in the world. We talk about trips, talk about movies and TV.
Yeah.
We are more of an entertainment value for the city of Richmond and the suburbs.
We should have our own TV show.
Yeah.
We do. I forgot about that. Like Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine made me like this barbecue, and it was really good.
Yeah.
And I ate the barbecue. I said, "You're a really good cook. You should have your own cooking show." He goes, "This is all I know how to make." And the show would only be one episode.
That definitely sounds like a lot of us out there.
The first show is always the hardest. No, the first show is the easiest. And you have about a year to start your first show, and then you have like a week to do the second show.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do for the encore?
I know. It's like, how are you gonna prepare for that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what do we do?
Yes.
But nonetheless, at the time of taping, we have just started the NFL season. Yes, and my Commanders, they did not do too well against Buffalo. They got shellacked. Ugh. And I blame Ron Rivera. It's all his fault.
Yeah, well, you can't take it too hard. The losing, every team's going to lose.
Yeah.
And I was brought to my attention after a terrible loss by the Giants to the Cowboys, 40-0. The quarterback of the Giants, when they said, "Well, how do you come to terms with that?" He goes, "Believe it or not, half the teams last week lost their first game." So you can't, you just look forward to the second game.
That's right. Look forward to the second game.
Even if you win the game, you have to still look forward to the second game.
That's right. It's true.
It's never finished.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's like some teams win, some teams lose. It's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
But try to stay on the right side of 50 than more on the left side of 50 because you want to win more than you lose.
I would when I was a kid, I had baseball cards and football cards and mainly baseball cards, and you would see these great pitchers, and they all had good records. But then there would be pitchers that were like Tug McGraw and who are famous at relief? Raleigh Fingers.
And Dan Quisenberry.
Yeah. And what was weird about them, if you actually looked at their stats, they had a terrible ERA. They usually had terrible one-loss percentage. Yes. They were like 3. But then you realize, but they pitch almost every game, and they're not really there to. Yeah. They're not really there to win the game. They're there just to save the game, or when they're already losing, just to throw them in there. What makes a relief pitcher? I never figured that out.
Well, it's like relief pitcher is just a guy who is relieving the starter pitcher.
Yeah, if you don't know what that means.
Yeah. And relief pitchers are just there to eat innings. That's all they're there for.
But the craziest thing is, does a pitcher? I think every pitcher, when they were probably in high school or even in Little League, they probably thought they should be the main pitcher.
Yes.
And then suddenly some manager or coach said, you don't have what it takes to be a main. We kind of like your style, but you pretty much run out of gas after 3 innings. So we're going to put you in the relief bullpen, and you get to play every day. You get to tell your parents you're playing. We're not benching you. Unless we're winning, and then we will bench you.
Yeah.
But then you'll be on the winning team. So you cannot. It's a win-win situation for you.
Now, Dan Quisenberry, who was one of my favorite relief pitchers of all time, had the sidearm, type pitch.
Oh yeah.
It was the weirdest thing in the world, but
it's like almost like an underhanded softball pitch.
Yes.
So those are, if you play softball, sometimes they're hard to hit.
Yes.
They go over your bat.
The man had over 200 saves. Yeah. Probably a lot more than that, but he was one of the most dominant pitchers in the 1980s. And when you knew that man was on the mound, you might as well just give it up and go home and lose.
Well, he was a relief pitcher,
Yes.
I remember, what would happen sometimes with these relief pitchers would start pitching, and the losing team would come from behind and maybe tie the game up, and then if they hit a home run in the 9th inning or something, the relief pitcher got the win and not the guy who they took out.
Which is not fair. Tell you the truth. I never could understand the win-loss records of pitchers. It's like pitcher comes in the 6th inning but gives up 3 runs, and the game is like he's still up by 1, and then the save guy comes in, but he don't get the win, he gets the save, and the guy who gave up 3 runs but didn't give up the lead gets the win. Oh, come on.
And then I didn't know there was a, what do you call those guys? They actually in the booth, the scorer or something. And they're the people who I don't know what they're called, but they're like a sort of an umpire of sorts in the booth or something, and they declare things errors, and they declare I never understood the reasoning for that. I've also noticed that there's a lot of the strategy goes on in games, especially the slower the game, the more the strategy.
Yes.
Baseball and football have a lot of strategy.
Yes.
Basketball is pretty simple. Just try to you see the basket, throw it. Just do that. Pass it to a guy who's open and then throw it.
It's like, let me block it.
But everyone is open, and though everyone has a person on them in basketball. So and if you have the ball, ball, you have two people on you. So I don't even know how anyone scores. And yet they score hundreds of points.
Yes, it's amazing. I mean, golly. see, the baseball, which technically you're right, Kevin. He has a score, but I think they call it just official score.
The official score.
And he's got a tough job, especially when the ball is hit to somebody and it's booted. It's like, oh, should I throw it to first? Yeah. And he messes up the throws. Like, should he give that guy an error or a hit? It all depends on the situation. It's like, some hits I saw should have been errors.
I know.
And some errors should have been hits.
Well, I think I know one thing about errors in baseball. This is the only thing I really know what constitutes an error, is that if you overthrow or do something, but you still get an out on the play, even if it's just at first base when 3 runs scored, it's not an error. But here's something weird about errors, and maybe I'm wrong about this, or maybe they've changed the rules. But when I was a kid, no matter how many errors were in a game, it would still count against the pitcher's ERA.
Yes.
Yeah, so, hey, I'm doing my best up here, and you're just dropping balls in the outfield.
You're right.
And I get the blame for the ERA.
Yeah. And it's like you come into the game and you got only like a 2.50 ERA, and then your team behind you has like 10 errors, and it blooms up to 30 ERAs. Like, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Please trade me to a better team. I got to tell you, you see, I'm talking statistics now. But this is what was my life growing up. Now I'm not really big on statistics. A lot of people will tell you, like Tony Romo, for example.
Oh yeah.
They'll tell you how great his statistics was.
Oh.
But where were those? But where were those highs? Where was those Vince Lombardi trophies? He's a much better quarterback than all the others out there. I said, but where's this Vince Lombardi trophy?
Yeah.
But I care about the Vince Lombardi trophy over statistics. But gosh, when I was a kid, I could just rattle off statistics with the baseball cards and football cards and everything. And I think there must have been something wrong in my head, because I still retain a lot of stuff. Film trivia, some things about history, some of course, certainly baseball statistics.
Oh yes.
I should be on Jeopardy. I think everyone on Jeopardy is a little off. Don't get me started about James Holzhauer.
Oh, the gambler. Oh my goodness.
Seems like every time I turn on the TV to watch one of those quiz shows, he's there.
Yeah.
And if I was a quiz show contestant and I saw James Holzhauer, okay, goodbye. I forfeit. Give him my $3,000. I'm not going to win.
It's like, here you go, James. Here you go. I ain't going to win it anyway. Do you watch The Chase?
Oh man, do I watch The Chase?
Yeah.
That is. I'm glad you mentioned The Chase, because I don't think I could ever. That's a show. That's the one intelligent quiz show that I don't think I would ever want to be on. I don't get any of those answers right.
Right.
And yet the people that are on it, the chaser, they get every one of those.
Yes.
Even the stupid ones.
Yeah, I know.
Like what was Snoopy's doghouse called?
Yeah,
I don't know. But they would know.
But they know everything. They know all the questions, and it's like, is this fair?
Yeah.
I mean, and then you get the final round.
Oh, and they always win that one.
Yeah, they always win.
Even no matter how good you did before then, and you usually barely eke by.
Yes.
Get into the final round, and then I just saw it like last week. There was a woman named the Queen. She got in the last second, and the other team didn't get $350,000.
I know.
I would have started, and then there's all those neon lights. I would just take my fist and we got to do that on a game show.
Yes.
They said, we'll never air that one. You won't air the good.
Yeah. I tell you, what's really funny about that show is the Queen. She's a house mom.
Oh yeah.
And she just studies the encyclopedia all day long. I forgot what her old job was, but they found her from somewhere. And next thing you know, she's on a big time game show making tons of money.
She's the Susan Boyle of
yes,
of quiz show people or women. Yeah, and I you know what she looks like to me? I don't want to make fun of people's looks. She looks like the grown up little girl on Family Guy.
Oh, Meg! Meg? Is her Meg? She looks like Meg.
Oh, she does. Now, next time you see her, you're going to remember what I said. Actually, Meg's a pretty girl. Yeah, she's a pretty woman, but she with the glasses and the hair, she just looks like the grown-up Meg.
Yeah, just put a hat on her.
Just put a hat on her. Yeah.
But I guarantee you, she'll kill you in a quiz contest.
I know. Yeah, I wish I was that smart.
Oh my goodness! And then, of course, the master, Ken Jennings.
Yeah. Oh, I got to tell you about Ken Jennings. Ken Jennings. I found out something kind of neat about Ken Jennings. I mean, this is only recent. Ken Jennings, as a result of now being the host of Jeopardy, and he kind of backed into it because they fired the other guy, and now they have Mayim Bialik sort of switching off with him every once in a while. He is not allowed to be on the quiz shows anymore because she's now part of management.
No way.
So James Holzhauer is smart just to, not to be. I don't think he'd be the host of much of anything. Right?
No.
Do you know James Holzhauer actually, I think, won on The Chase?
Yes, he did.
Before he was on Jeopardy.
Yes, he did. As a matter of fact, I saw that episode. He beat the original chaser, Mark Labette, who is the big English guy who can...
Oh, the Beast.
The Beast, yes. The Beast.
Yeah, they're all brilliant guys.
Oh my goodness, very brilliant. But have you ever seen the...
Oh, I'm auditioning to be the chaser because I'm that intelligent. and guess what? The people might win. I don't know everything, but I know almost everything.
Now, if you were the chaser, what would your nickname be?
The hedgehog. The skunk. I don't know. I don't think by the end of the show, I know people watching the show probably already have a bunch of names.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of bullies out there that's good. I'll give Kaye Lazar a name. I got a long list of names here for Kaye Lazar. You know where I got that from? There was when I was in first grade. Yeah, I loved insult humor. Even as a first grader. And someone had a funny name, like I think it was a Greek name, like today at school, Mrs. Kapapatopoulos is coming, and I just laughed. I said, and the teacher said, "What's so funny?" I said, "That name is just so funny, Kapapatopoulos." He said, "Well, that's not very nice, Kevin. Would you like us to laugh at your name?" And I, didn't care, so I said, And then I looked and I saw all these kids just rubbing their hands together, waiting to spring and laugh at something. So I said, I wouldn't like it. You're right. Teacher, I declare I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Now I would say, give me your best shot. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah. Oh, I got in trouble probably the same week. I was getting in trouble.
Oh, it was in the first grade.
If you want to know what I was like as a kid in school, my name was always on the board. We're talking in class and going to the principal.
Unbelievable! I cannot believe you'd be in this much trouble, Evan. How could you be in this much trouble?
I'm actually better behaved now, or at least I'm better accepted than I was. I had all these people trying to change me with notes home to my parents, going to the principal's office, standing in the corner, dunce cap, everything to keep me from talking in class. And I hate to break it to anyone who's watching out there who remembers those days, but their efforts were fruitless and impotent. Trying to get me to stop making jokes, to stop doing imitations, to stop yammering. So anyway, I get in trouble. There's always the tattletale, and this guy got me in trouble. We're in school. You can't just go to the bathroom. You have to raise your hand.
Oh yeah.
Or you have to. There's like a time in the day that you all have to go to the bathroom at the same time.
Yes.
I don't know how they think 6-year-olds are going to time that properly. So there's there was like I guess it was one of these old schools, and there was like 10 in the bathrooms, 10 urinals. Okay, and I see always a boy at each one.
Okay.
I'm like the 11th boy. I walk in and I say, "Good afternoon, all you pea men." and they were laughing so hard. They were laughing so hard, these kids. And then one of those kids, I might have a kid in the stall.
Oh no!
He told the teacher that I was being vulgar. and using curse words in the. So I said, "Hey," and then I think the teacher said, that's." If it was anyone else, that would have gotten in a lot of trouble. Kevin.
It's Kevin.
He's always running his mouth about something. So. Well, that was me in first grade.
That was you in first grade. You definitely would be a very good chaser. As a matter of fact, have you ever seen the old, more like the old / new chasing from the UK? Have you ever seen?
Oh no, I haven't seen those ones. Okay. But I noticed that whenever I watch on the internet UK versions of Jeopardy or any of these shows, they are very. I don't know their culture, so I don't know all their sporting heroes, and he won, and he was the highest scorer in the rugby game. I don't know. I didn't even know his name. Yeah, some of them I know, like Pele, soccer player.
But what's amazing is like when I was looking at the old chase, there are 5 chasers, just like in the regular show. But there's a Hispanic guy, and there's a black guy, and of course another female who was a very cute chaser, a very nice redhead, who a lot of people were in love with, including me. And it was like, these guys could just run you with a lawnmower, and you cannot defeat them. Yeah. But what's interesting is that they got their British questions, and their English questions, European questions, and also our American questions on there. Yeah. And they know all of it. But put some England stuff on our show, or something from Spain on our show, we would completely lose.
I'm very in tune to. I remember watching like shows when I was a kid, like Jeopardy and stuff, and if sports or cartoons wasn't very common, I'd change the channel. Because I might get the sport, but all those other ones. But now I can follow it pretty well. And one thing that's weird about when you watch a show from England that's a game show is that they don't win as much money as they do here. Here they just certain questions like $10,000 a question.
Yes.
That's 10. You're lucky if you make like 500. 5,000. 5,000 would be the big number.
Yes.
But they're pounds. I guess no, they wouldn't be pounds. They'd be.
They would be pounds.
Yes. Yeah, they have pounds.
Yes.
They don't have the euros there.
Yeah.
I don't think. They're not in the European Union anymore.
No,
Brexit.
No. Yeah, Brexit, they left.
Put an end to that.
Yeah, they said, we're gone, we're leaving you jokers. And they're back to pounds. But I was watching this one show called Impossible. And it's like, the little amount of money you can win on that show. It's like, I might as well fly to America, go on a game show here, take the money and go back home.
Well, I know that there was a show, I think they had a show that was very popular. They're called Mastermind.
Oh, I heard of Mastermind.
Yeah, but it was a very slow show. It was almost like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. The whole show was just probably one contestant. But there was, but the questions were pretty hard. There was a show who I think it came from England, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is still out in America.
Yes,
and there are a few millionaire winners. Because $1 million is so hard to get with their economy and stuff. Or £1 million. Yes. For the longest time, nobody ever won. In fact, they had an awful scandal there that they showed. The guy was clearing his throat every time the right answer was called. Which is quite a coincidence. Yeah.
Yes. I saw the, let's say, dramatification on that.
Yeah.
And I forgot what channel it was on.
It was 2020 or something.
2020, okay.
That's where I didn't see the show. I just saw the scandal part that they reported Diane Sawyer on 2020.
Oh, okay. Because they actually made a movie about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there was a movie. I just mentioned Slumdog Millionaire, which is sort of based on that. It was an Indian version of the same story.
Yes.
And as soon as the kid starts getting the answers right, which he does in the course of the movie, they don't think he's a brilliant person. They say, well, you must be cheating.
Yeah. You are cheating.
It makes you wonder if they even have the money. You know what? I think that's happened on the Chase. The Chase, they probably don't have $350,000 to give to people, so that they said, you see, if I was the chaser, I would demand, well, where's my $350,000?
Exactly.
And I beat them. Or I would say, listen, I work for you. I deserve maybe 15-20%, like an agent would. Commission. How much I save you with money.
Yes. I heard on the Chase that if the contestants win the money, then that comes out of the chaser's budget.
So you can get fired if you get money. Also, I'll tell you something else about the Chase, and I've seen this on the Chase, and it actually upsets me.
Yeah.
It really does. What happens is there are some people say now you can go for $50,000, you can go for $300,000, or you can go for $10,000. Okay?
Yes.
And sometimes people will take the $10,000 and answer 3 questions, and then the next guy will get like $150,000.
Yes.
And bring it to the group.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. If I was that $150,000 winner, I was not going to share it with the $10,000 winner. Here's your $10,000.
That's right.
Screw you. Get out of here. I'm not sharing it. I'm not a communist.
I'm surprised it's not like that, Kevin. Because if the contestant goes for $200,000 and he gets it or she gets it, she deserves to play for that $200,000.
Yeah. And there's a show that's still on, You Bet Your Life. They share the money, the two people, because they work on the right answer and talk.
Right.
Now
Yes.
But what the craziest thing, even with the time with Groucho, there was a whole lot of money at stake, $100.
Yes.
Of course they could share that.
Yes.
But if I was getting all the answers right on You Bet Your Life, and I was making, I don't know, $10,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, why do I have to share it with her? She didn't get one answer right.
And I agree, Kevin. I agree. I mean, equal fare in the game show land. That's all I say.
Did you play in the day Trivial Pursuit?
I did on a couple occasions. Yeah.
I was actually a master of that, and I did it fairly.
Okay.
I didn't like go. I saw this once on I think it was on Designing Women where one woman, I think it was not Dixie Card, but the other one, Delta Burke, actually on the show read each card. And you can, that is possible, you can do that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I didn't do that. Every question was new to me. Yeah.
Don't cheat.
But there is a question on Trivial Pursuit that wasn't right, and it was actually called this could be seen. This is the only man-made structure that could be seen from the moon. On the astronauts on the moon could see this, and the answer obviously was the Great Wall of China. Well, the truth is you can't see it. There's too many clouds.
Yes.
The Great Wall of China is not really that tall,
right?
I mean, what's the tallest building? The one in Dubai or the Sears Tower or in Chicago? Or in the Empire State Building? I mean, but as tall as that is, you can't see that from the moon. So I think an astronaut, maybe Buzz Aldrin or something called.
Yeah, like big old telescopes, like, oh, I can see that building from the moon. Oh, there it is. Oh.
I would just imagine if you're up on the moon or something, you'd probably be very lonely.
Yes.
My friend's going to come and visit me. I think The Martian is kind of that. I mean, the movie The Martian with with Matt Damon is sort of that way.
Oh,
Is anyone going to remember me? I'm going tomatoes here.
Yeah, it's like, who am I growing these tomatoes for?
I can't live on tomatoes. Someone's got to rescue me here.
But basically, Vanna White signed a 2-year extension to continue on Wheel of Fortune. And Pat Sajak is going by the wayside, which is really sad. But he says after, 32 years, he said he's had enough. I can understand that.
Well, they should put her in the
exactly.
And then have, I don't know, Pamela Anderson play with those letters. Or get a man this time.
Yeah.
Get a man with a big chest or something, big hairy chest. Now they get the women get their. Because I think the women love that show.
Oh yes, yes.
I have a hard time watching Wheel of Fortune. I mean, because of all the bankruptcies and and whenever they. Whenever they go bankrupt, I'm gonna do it one more time, and they have like $20,000.
Yes.
And then they bankrupt, and it serves you right.
That's right.
It serves you right.
Yes. I was like, I am so happy when they bankrupt. It's like, yeah, you got $25,000. You know what the puzzle is, but it's like, I'm gonna spend it one more time. Oh, bankrupt.
I was once real girl crazy, and when I first got it, probably Jeopardy's been done a long time, maybe 30 years ago or something, when I was like in my 20s and stuff. No, it was more like 40 years ago. No, more like 10 years ago. I don't know when I was in my 30s.
Yeah,
but Facebook was becoming popular, and
yes,
a lot of those pretty girls that you see on Facebook on these quizzes or in game, and you could, I don't want to put bad ideas in people's heads.
Please, this is not that other show.
Go on J-Date, they're all there. Now, speaking of Jeopardy, I was tried out for Jeopardy, but I didn't get on, and the reason why was after everybody. Whenever someone missed an easy question, I'd say, "Oh, everybody knows that." And they didn't like my snide. They didn't like my snide approach to the game. And then of course when the two people came and I was there, I said, "Oh, I think I'm going to have an easy time with these two." They didn't like it. This is just I should have waited to do that on the show rather than show my hand before I got on.
You could have been on Jeopardy. You could have been a 5-day champion. You could have made over hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you could have left us.
I preferred to be a snob. Insulting. And you want to know something that was worth it. Yes. Well, comedian to the end.
Comedian to the end, and that's the way to go, ladies and gentlemen.
I've seen people would want to be comedians.
Yes.
On the dating game.
Oh yes.
They didn't care if they got picked or not.
Yes.
They just wanted to shine by insulting the other two guys.
Yes. And didn't that happen? Didn't that happen to who was the one comedian that was on there from Saturday Night Live?
Will Ferrell?
Not Will Ferrell. No, this is back when
Dan Aykroyd.
Not Dan Aykroyd.
Bill Murray.
Not Bill Murray. Because I don't think about
living or dead.
He's dead.
John Belushi.
Not John Belushi, but he's
Chevy Chase.
He's the guy that wrestled Jerry Lawler.
Oh, Andy Kaufman.
Kaufman. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they had a lot of celebrities that before they were famous were on the dating game, and they said that Tom Selleck was on there.
Yes, he was,
and he did not get picked.
Yes.
They said. I said, I know why he didn't get picked. Everyone says, how did Tom Selleck of all people not get picked?
Yeah.
And I said, well, because the woman couldn't see what he looked like. Could see what the three guys looked like,
yeah.
And he had to rely on his personality. And a lot of good-looking people don't have such great personalities.
That's right.
You know why?
Why?
They don't have to.
That's true.
They don't have to. They don't cultivate jokes and the hard stuff everyone says.
I remember this one.
You know that. You and I know that.
That's right.
We don't.
That's right.
Us beautiful people that are giving you some of our our secrets,
our wisdom and talents, if we have any.
Yeah. So yes,
you remember the one dating game episode when Jim Lang was hosting, when Michael Jackson was the choice. So I was wondering how did
he was one of the three.
No, men? He was the guy. No, he was a celebrity.
Celebrity guest.
Guest, yeah. And there's three women, and I was wondering how did that date go?
Yeah. Wait a minute. The dating game, those weren't really dates. They were chaperoned.
That's right.
I don't think any romance ever sprung for those things. They basically went on just trips by themselves, or they probably were allowed to take somebody because who wants to be with some stranger? Now the love connection, on the other hand, they really did go on dates.
Yes,
and they thought that was they thought that was almost going over the line. But then there was a show after that called Blind Date.
Oh,
they actually took a camera and filmed what was going on.
Blind Dates.
Oh, they were great. Yeah.
Now Chuck Woolery, he got that show, I think, after he messed up on Wheel of Fortune.
He was on the Wheel of Fortune. That's right.
Yeah,
and I remember him on there. He's a singer. He started off as a singer, and he's now very popular as a conservative pundit.
Yes.
You sometimes see him on the conservative shows. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's a radio show or something.
Chuck Woolery. Go back to Scrabble, please. We need somebody to host a good game show.
You know who else is a conservative pundit? Is the woman from what was her name? She was on Northern Exposure.
Yeah. Oh, I love that show.
Yeah.
The one on CBS, right?
Yeah. I forget her. She was
Was
very
she
good actress and everything.
Was she the cute blonde?
No, she was the dark hair.
That
was with Rob Morrow. Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
Could you ever make it as a pundit on these? I think I could.
No, I don't think I could. I could not make a pundit on a liberal or conservative network because then I would be speaking my mind too much, and then they would probably bleep out every word I say, and then it's like
it's not. It's one thing. It's getting to become a very dangerous world out there because there's divisiveness amongst people. I mean, if you're a politician, for example, and a politician is elected for their point of view.
Yep.
And then they vote against a bill that a lot of people are against, whichever 40% of the people are going to be against everything you do as a politician.
True.
So, but I mean, it used to be they didn't like it. People tell you to vote them out and all this stuff. But now they're actually going to their houses and knocking on doors.
It's terrible now.
Protesting and and then they have to get and that's not right.
No, that's not right at all.
This is in America we do not threaten people.
Right.
And it's and I found out that it's against the law to threaten people. And I mean, you may already know that, but you cannot. You see, I grew up in the schoolyard, and people were always threatening you and getting hit. And it was a very violent time being a kid, and thus the guy would grab you by the neck and he says, and if you tell your parents, or if you tell the principal or your teachers or any other students that where you got this black eye or something, and you were terrified because you're 8 years old, you don't know any better.
Yeah.
That doesn't fly when you're an adult. if someone does that to you can just turn around and they don't even have to be violent with you. They can just threaten violence.
That's right.
And so. We got to get back to
common sense,
back to
normality and everything.
Leave the violence for the wars.
Yeah, leave the violence for boxing, hockey, and other types of sports like Australian rules football.
Yeah. And I was even thinking, getting back to sports, about hockey.
Yes,
all those fist fights in hockey.
Yes,
and I mean, a fist fight like in a football game or something would throw you out for the game. In a baseball game,
Yes.
You can't just start hitting people. That's why what's a guy Will Smith whatever happened to Will Smith? You barely see him anymore.
I know. It's like he's gone.
Yeah.
He's good. Matter of fact, I found out he's applying for our show.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We might bring him on.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, well, the guy Chris Rock didn't hit him back, but I mean,
yeah.
What would have happened if it just got?
Oh my goodness!
Something else.
That would have been too much.
Listen, anytime you're in a fist fight, and this happened to me years ago. The police comes. I was I had a girlfriend at the Raven. You probably remember that bar, and that place looked like a Willie Nelson lookalike contest. Right. And then she was mouthing off, and I said, "Let's go." Yeah. And the guy started saying, "Oh, look what your girlfriend said about me."
Oh
gosh! So I was just kind of staring him down, and he pushed me, and I pushed him back, and then I think a cop was around, and when he got there, I got on the floor and said, "You won't believe what that guy did to me." So when the cops come, always be the loser.
That's right.
So,
well, that is some good stuff. Good advice. Good advice, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard it from this man right here.
a man who knows.
Yeah. Well, speaking of,
I still like my teeth. I still like. My nose is all right.
Yeah.
I don't want plastic surgery. I'm going to walk away from a fight now. I'm not 8 years old anymore.
Well, speaking of good fights, I fought the good fight and went on a trip, and I just came back from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
This show is now being sponsored by Canada Drive. Hooray! I just went to Vancouver, British Columbia, had a great time over there. Then I flew all the way down to Florida, and I was like, I touched each ends of our great North American continent.
Yes.
And
Vancouver?
I was, British Columbia, and then
that's the last stop till you get to Alaska.
Yes, pretty much. But I had a great time in Vancouver. Yeah. Vancouver's a great city. A lot of people are very friendly to you, especially if you tell them you're from America. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. Vancouver's a very nice place.
It's nice. It's nice.
And tell me what you did in Vancouver.
What I did in Vancouver.
The museum or something?
Yeah, I went to a museum. I went to the Canadian Football League game.
Okay.
Went to a BC Lions game against Ottawa.
Well, what's Canadian football compared to American football?
Canadian football is like...
What are the rules like?
The field is longer. Instead of 100 yards from goalpost to goalpost, it's 110 yards in Canadian football. Yeah. The goalpost itself is in front of the touchdown area, unlike in America where it's behind.
Well, actually, I know something about that.
Yeah.
There was too many games won by field goals, like in the early 70s. So they changed the rule to make it a little harder for the kicker.
Yes.
In other words, to get people to score touchdowns. But that's all right,
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if that's how they do it. But actually, if you think about it, it actually evens out.
It pretty much does.
If it's 110 yards and those 10 yards are moved in from the end zone, yeah. So
I was going to say
high scoring. I mean, do they tend to be more high scoring or less scoring?
They can be. It all depends on the weather conditions and stuff. There's a C in the center of the field called the center line.
Yeah.
So that's like the 55-yard line. So you got two ends over here, which has a 50-yard line, and then the C line, which is the center line. Yeah. And the touchdown area is 20 yards long instead of our regular 10 yards long for the NFL. Now,
wait a minute. Well, no, I mean, okay. Oh, I see. If it's a throw,
yes,
a pass,
yes,
and they get to the end zone,
yes,
they have further to run while it's still in bounds.
No. Actually, like our touchdown area, when you throw it into the touchdown zone in American football, the width of the touchdown line is 10 yards.
Yes.
In Canadian football, it's 20 yards.
Okay.
So you got more room to score.
Yeah, so you won't go out of bounds.
Right.
Or you're less likely to go out of bounds.
You're less likely to go out of bounds.
There's more room to run around it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And you can run around the goalpost if you want to try to get lost and everything.
Yeah.
And then you only got 3 downs to do something.
Wow.
Yes.
So they punt on the 3rd down?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That changes everything.
Yes, it does. And you got the same 10 yards, got the same type of penalties. Except in Canadian football, they do stop the clock, I think, after every first day.
Oh, yeah. I think college football.
Like college football.
Yeah.
Which now I think college football has now gotten away from it.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule. Because at the end of the game, when a team is making its drive and they want to stop the clock, they usually have to run out of bounds or throw it. Intentionally just drop the ball. I mean, throw the ball down just to get a fake timeout. Yeah. And so I think it's I think that's a I like a lot of those rules. You know?
Yeah, I mean, those rules are real nice. And not only that, you can score high. The game I went to, Vancouver was down, or I say the BC Lions were down 10 points to Ottawa. No, I'm sorry, 16 points. In the middle of the fourth quarter to Ottawa. Vancouver, BC, came all the way back and won the game.
There you go. Now, was there? Did they have the 2-point conversion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good rule. I like.
They
that.
got the 2-point.
That's like
conversion.
a second touchdown.
Yes.
For 2 points.
And I think, I'm not positive, if the field goal kicker. No, it's not. No, it's still 3 points for a field goal. But if you kick off the ball and you kick it through the uprights, like in American football, they kick it off and the guy try to catch the ball and runs it back. Yeah. But if the kicker kicks it over the post, it's a point, I believe, for your team.
Oh, for the kicking team.
Yeah, for the kicking team.
Oh, that's a good rule.
Yeah, I think that actually still exists. I'm not positive.
So that means, well. Okay, that means that Skol. I'm drinking seltzer. That's a good rule because then there'd be more incentive to kick the ball into the end zone, so have the guy run out of it rather than try to kick. A lot of times I see them try to kick it make sure the guy catches it the 1 or 2 yard line. Leave it there, But now if there's a point involved, that's good.
Yeah.
And okay, where else did you go?
Well, I went to the Seaport. Nice spot in Vancouver. Took a bunch of trains around the suburbs. Nice spots there. Yeah. And I took a sea bus. And I went across the strait over to the other side of Vancouver. Yeah. And that was really nice. Okay. Yeah. Right. Then going down to Florida, I went to visit some people. Yeah. I went to see 2 movies down in Florida.
What are the movies?
I did the Barbenheimer thing.
Barbie and Oppenheimer. Yeah. I saw them. They were very good.
They were very, very good movies. Yeah. Barbie was really funny. Yeah. It really shocked me how funny it was. Yeah. And then Oppenheimer, even though it was a long movie, it was a very good movie. But they could have cut some of that stuff out.
Well, I found Oppenheimer a little confusing. Because only the makeup they had on the people to make them look older to figure out that maybe this is a later time.
Yeah.
They would bounce back, but the Robert Downey character is very good, and he is he was head of the Atomic Commission, and he almost became Secretary of Commerce under Eisenhower.
Yes,
and he doesn't get it,
He doesn't get it.
I mean, that's not check your history. It's not a spoiler. Check your history books. And but I looked up that guy because I didn't know anything about that guy. He was from Richmond.
What?
And he's buried at the Hebrew Cemetery.
Oh my goodness!
He was buried at the Hebrew Cemetery. Yeah. Oh, the Robert Downey character. Yeah. And then the Oppenheimer was the guy. The guy, if you saw any footage, he looks exactly Cillian Murphy. An Irish actor, looks exactly like the guy in Oppenheimer. And Oppenheimer didn't live very long. He died at in the late 50s. I mean, he died in his 50s. And because he was
exposed to radiation?
You'd think that. He was puffing away on a cigarette almost and he was pretty emaciated. He didn't eat when you smoke enough, you don't have to eat.
Right.
Yeah. So,
right.
And so that's why he was so thin.
Oh.
That's why a lot of people smoke. They think they're going to lose weight, but they're trading one set of problems
for another.
But that and then Barbie was so good. Yeah. Will Ferrell was very funny.
Will Ferrell did a great job in that. Yeah. I mean, that was amazing.
And that beautiful woman who played Barbie.
Yes, I forgot her
Margot
name.
Robbie.
Thank you, Margot
Robbie. She played the ice skater, Tanya Harding.
Oh, Tanya Harding. Okay.
She played Sharon Tate in another movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very good. Yeah.
Well, to tell you the truth, Kevin, Kaye Lazar is a man of movies, and I did not know that when I was looking at Oppenheimer, that Robert Downey Jr. was in it.
Yes.
So I was thinking, well, Robert Downey Jr. is in this movie.
Yeah.
Where's his Iron Man suit?
Where's his Iron Man
Come
suit?
down and bring out the Iron Man suit and just simply do your thing in World War II. I got you. We don't need the atomic bomb.
That's Captain America's job.
It's true.
1940s. If you read the Captain American comic books from the 1940s, you would think that we didn't even need an army in World War II. All we needed was Captain America. There's even one where he beats up Hitler. Which is but Captain America's great. It's always good to see Robert Downey in a movie. He had a strange early career, and the trouble is he was in a lot of trouble with drugs and everything. He was arrested many times, and he actually was fired from movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then when he finally got himself clean, then everything opened up. And he's remained clean as a result of, I don't want things to close again. So and in fact, even when he was going through a pretty rough time, you would see him in small parts in movies, and I actually look forward to his parts in on Ally McBeal and small parts in movies.
Yes.
And now he's a big star.
Big star. Yeah. Was Iron Man his way out of the?
They wanted Tom Cruise for Iron Man, and he kind of I think he was like their their consolation prize. They didn't think of it. And then he made the part, and he can't really. And I like to think that Iron Man is a better movie because Robert Downey's in it,
not Tom Cruise.
And the character Tony Stark is based. I mean, the movie character, not the original character, in the comic books, is based on Elon Musk.
Oh, okay.
The guy that at the time you heard about him, but you didn't know it. Now we all know.
Now we all know.
But now you can imagine. That's something. If Elon Musk could do that, he would be Iron Man. He still might. He built his own thing. He's built his own spaceship.
Yeah, I know. It was like, I'm Iron Man. We're flying around the air. Oh, look, there it goes. Look at Richmond skylines. It's Elon. No, it's Iron Man. It's Elon. No.
Oh man! I saw. I told you a few months ago. I saw William Shatner when he came to town.
Yes.
And he gave a speech at the Comic-Con.
Yes.
Or the GalaxyCon it was called.
GalaxyCon.
And he, what happened was he was talking about how he was one of the few civilians in recent years to go up in space.
Yes.
I think it was either Elon's spaceship or Jeff Bezos' spaceship. I forget which one. But he said it's actually quite scary because you find out that these spaceships, probably all the spaceships, use hydrogen as their fuel to boost themselves up. And he said, and all he could think about in his mind before liftoff was the Hindenburg.
Oh no!
Is there something better than hydrogen we could use?
Oh my goodness!
But he came down all right.
Yeah,
90-year-old man.
He actually finally touched space. Yes.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk is now a space captain.
I saw a movie called First Kid. It was very good with Ryan Gosling, who was also in Barbie, and they played Ken. And Ryan Gosling played Neil Armstrong in this movie. And it wasn't until I actually saw this movie, because I actually saw the landing on the moon when I was a kid. That's how old I am. And what happened was, I didn't realize it, but it's really just an aluminum, I don't know, not an aluminum box, but a metal box there with fire under you. That gives, it's kind of scary.
Yeah,
they're not a spaceship like on Star Trek or something where they're walking around and everything. They're pretty much strapped in there. At least in those days. At space station and the space shuttle, they probably had more room. But I was in a helicopter ride at the State Fair. I'm the announcer at the State Fair. If you go to the State Fair, you'll hear my voice on the loudspeaker. So.
That's right.
And next year they're replacing me with a cassette tape. So this might be the last year. I took this is like about 20 years ago. I went on a helicopter ride for $10. I'd never been in a helicopter before. And, it wasn't until I was up in the air that I realized, just like an astronaut, I'm in just this little box. It's not like I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talking on, I think, the Joe Rogan show. He said that that we don't need flying cars like the future always predicts, because a helicopter is a flying car.
True, yeah.
And if everybody had a flying car, they would basically think about it, everybody having a helicopter. And so, can you imagine all the
I know.
all the crashes and all the people being chopped up by blades and everything?
Especially the truck drivers.
Oh man, yeah. So just be glad we don't have flying cars.
Yes, we're not like the Jetsons.
Space is not for everybody.
Well, Kaye Lazar, I have to ask this question before we go off the air.
Yes.
And it's one of my, let's just say...
Well, you're going to have a show every week at this time, 6 o'clock?
Yes.
All right, so I'll be watching.
He will pencil it in. If for some reason I don't pencil it in, somebody wake me up.
Yes.
Now, this is a controversial question.
Yes.
We'll go back to Wheel of Fortune.
Okay, I'm good.
You know now Ryan Seacrest is going to be the host.
Of what?
Wheel of Fortune. Oh. Vanna White.
Another reason not to watch.
Exactly.
He's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I am not too fond of this
American
choice. Vanna White is already upset about it because she thought either one, she should have done it, or Pat Sajak's daughter should have done it, or they should have done a national contest.
Well, I got it. I just said Vanna White, the host, and then Ryan Seacrest in a bathing suit. putting the letters. Then everyone's happy.
Yeah, that sounds like
Vanna's happy anyway. Yeah. It's promoted. See,
you probably just solved King World's problem.
Well, you know, I was thinking, speaking of sports, that guy Vince Scully was he died recently, but he was the announcer for like 65, 70 years for the Dodgers, from the Brooklyn Dodgers to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And let me tell you something. How does that guy get such good job security? Well, was he blackmailing everyone in the Dodger and radio organization?
He probably was.
I got tape of you with Russian call girls.
But we'll find out about that next time. We're going to have to dig into that. But my friend Kaye Lazar, thank you for another show. Yeah. And every week, it's the Vinny Mac show at this same time, this same channel, and we're in the same location. So come on down, sit down for a spell, and join us while we talk the talk. And it's not that talk you're thinking about either. So maybe it is. Are you sure? I don't know. But who knows?
So who are our sponsors?
Well, once again, Canada Dry.
Canada Dry?
Yes, because I went on the trip. To Canada. Yes.
I had a cousin who was an alcoholic. He saw it, said drink Canada. He saw a poster that said drink Canada Dry. He tried.
Well, on that note, we'll say so long to everybody. See you next week on the Vinny Mac Show.
Keep those cards and letters coming.
That's right. Bring on the next year.
I've run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, me too. It's like we'll just sit here and we'll talk quietly like it's an old 50s